And going to part B, which is Z2 divided by Z3, we shall say Z2 divided by Z3 equals to, let's substitute. What is Z2? Z2 is 3 minus I. 3 minus I divided by Z3 is 4 plus 2I. 4 plus 2I. Now let's come to the steps. The first step says that we find the conjugate of the denominator. So the denominator is 4 plus 2I. So in this case now the conjugate of the denominator becomes, we say that for the conjugate you just change the sign of the imaginary part only. So this becomes 4 minus 2I. Then the second step is multiply both the numerator and the denominator by the conjugate of the denominator, that is rationalization. So we shall now say Z1, Z2 rather, out of Z3 equals to 3 minus I, the numerator, but we are multiplying it by the conjugate of the denominator, which is 4 minus 2I. And then also the denominator, which is 4 plus 2I, we are multiplying it by its conjugate, which is 4 minus 2I. Then we multiply normally. 3 times 4 is 12. 3 times negative 2I is negative 6I. Negative I times 4 is negative 4I. Negative I times negative 2I is positive 2I squared. Then all over 4 times 4, 16. 4 times negative 2I is negative 8I. 2I times 4 is positive 8I. 2I times negative 2I is negative 4I squared. Then we go on and simplify. Here we shall have 12. Negative 6I minus 4I is negative 10I. And then plus 2 times I squared, which is negative 1. Very important. And then over negative 8I plus I is 1 0. Disappears. So here we shall have 16 minus 4. But what is I squared? I squared is negative 1. I squared is negative 1. So this gives us here 12 minus 10I minus 2 over 16 plus 4. Negative 4 times negative 1. When we collect the like terms, 12 minus 2 is 10 plus 10, not plus. 12 minus 2 is 10, then minus 10I. Out of 16 plus 4 out of 20. This is the answer. Or you can distribute the denominator so that you have 20, so that you have 10 out of 20 minus 10I out of 20. And then you simplify. This gives us here half minus a half I. This is the overall answer for part B. And now going to part C, which is Z3 divided by Z1. Part C, Z3 divided by Z1 equals to, let's substitute, 4 plus 2I, 4 plus 2I divided by Z1, which is 2 plus 6I. So coming to the steps, step 1 is getting the conjugate of the denominator. Strictly conjugate of the denominator. Don't get the conjugate of the numerator. This is the denominator in this case. So the conjugate becomes, we said to just change the sign of the imaginary part. So this gives us 6, I mean 2 minus 6I. And then the second step is multiplying both the numerator and the denominator by the conjugate of the denominator. This gives us here 4 plus 2I, that is the numerator, but times the conjugate of the denominator, which is 2 minus 6I, divided by the denominator is 6, is 2 plus 6I, times its conjugate, which is 2 minus 6I. After this, then you go to the simple multiplication steps. 2 times 2, 8. 4 times 2, 8. 4 times negative 6, negative 24i. 2i times 2i gives us positive 4i. 2i times negative 6i gives us negative 12, but I squared over 2 times 2, 4. 2 times negative 6i is negative 12i. 6i times 2, positive 12i. 6i times negative 6i is negative 36i squared. Then we proceed. Negative 24 plus 4 is negative 20. So here we shall have 8 minus 20 minus 12 times I squared, which is negative 1, out of negative 12 plus 12 is 0. So here we shall have 4 minus 36 I squared, which is negative 1. This gives us 8. This is 20i. 8 minus 20i plus 12. Because negative times negative is positive, over 4 plus 36. Negative 36 times negative 1 is positive 36. This gives us, what is 8 plus 12? 20. 20 minus 20i, but over 40. Over 40. 4 times 36. And then we'll simplify. You can simplify this by distributing the denominator. So 20 out of 40 minus 20i out of 40. 20 divided by 40, get a half, minus 20i divided by 40 is still a half I. So this is the answer for